Hello, pre-algebra class. This is Miss Ogle once again, and today is Friday, October the 1st, and we are going to be multiplying and dividing fractions. As I told you yesterday, multiplying and dividing fractions tend to be a lot easier than adding and subtracting. I think the main reason for that is because you do not have to have a common denominator. All right? So, some of you did message me that you were struggling with adding and subtracting fractions. So I'll be happy to help you with that. If you, I'll do a little review on this video, and then if you need further help, please feel free to let me know, okay? So let me just begin by, I think adding fractions may not be as bad, but subtracting fractions can be a little harder. Let me just show you one here. Let's say we have 6 1/4. We're going to subtract 4 2/3. All right, watch closely. Now, first of all, I do not have a common denominator, and I see that I am subtracting. 3 and 4 are not factors of each other. So, all you have to do is take this denominator and multiply the top fraction by that denominator. Take the top denominator and multiply the bottom fraction by that. Okay? 6, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. Put my subtraction. And my 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. Now, this is probably where you tend to get more confused than you have in the past, but let's look at this together, okay? All right, so here's what you do. You know, it's the same thing as subtracting. When you don't have enough, you have to borrow. So I'm going to borrow from this 6, and it's going to become a 5. Okay? And when I do that, this is going to change, and I'm simply going to add the denominator to the numerator. And when I do that, I get 15, and then you subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. 15 minus 8 is 7, and my denominator is the same, and it is in lowest terms, okay? So remember that. You borrow from your whole number. You have to borrow from the whole number. So, and when you do so, you simply add the denominator to the numerator, leave the denominator the same, and then do your subtraction. More with you, okay? All right, in this case, you already have a common denominator, so we don't have to go through the process of multiplying to get our denominator, but we do have an issue here because our numerator is smaller than our denominator. So, again, we're going to borrow from the 7 and make it 1 less, which is 6. You're going to take your denominator, you're going to add it to your numerator. So 5 plus 3 is 8, and then you're going to subtract. 6 minus 2 is 4. 8 minus 4 is 4 over 5, and that is your answer. Okay, so now let's look on page 32. We're going to talk about multiplying fractions. Very easy. If you have 1/2 times 3/5. We don't have common denominators. We don't need them. And we're going to multiply across. That's basically what you're doing. So 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 5 is 10. That is your answer. Is it in lowest terms? Yes, it's in lowest terms. Let's practice some more. All right, so let's say that we have 4 over 9 times 2/3. Okay? And remember, a dot also means multiplication. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 9 is 27. Can this be reduced? No, because it is in lowest terms. Now, let's look at some more. Okay? Now, when you are multiplying fractions, but you have mixed fractions. Remember, your mixed fraction is when you have a whole number and a fraction. Now, this may seem a little bit difficult, but it's really not that hard because you already know how to change mixed fractions to improper fractions. So that's your first step. You're going to change, make sure you're taking notes, mixed fractions to improper. Okay, so remember you're going to multiply and then add. So 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Denominator stays the same. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 3 more is 38 over 7. Now, if you can remember last year, you can do cancellation when you are multiplying fractions. And what I mean by that is if you have a 7 here and a 7 here, you can cancel those out and make that a 1. Then you're going to have 38 over 3. And then you've got to go through the process to change it back to a mixed fraction. So your whole number is 12. Your remainder is your numerator, and your denominator stays the same. And that is your answer. Okay, let's try one multiplication here before we move on to division, which is just as easy. All right, so let's go ahead and change these mixed fractions to improper. So 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 2 is 16 over 7. 6 times 9 is 54. 54 plus 2 is 56 over 9. All right, now you can do cancellation here because first of all, I know that 7 is a direct factor of 56 because 7 times 8 equals 56. So what I do is I cancel out the 7s and that leaves an 8. Okay, so you will now multiply across. Now we're going to change this back. So we're going to divide. 9 drops out. 128 comes inside the house. We know that 9 will not go into 1, but it will go into 12. So it leaves us 38. I know that I can multiply 9 by 4. And that leaves me with a remainder of 2. So my answer here is 14, that's my whole number. This is my numerator, which is my remainder, and then my denominator stays the same. And that is my answer, okay? I know it may seem a little difficult, but just do the very best that you can. Let's move on to division, okay? So when you're dividing fractions, I use what I call the KFC method, okay? It's keep, flip, and change. And what I mean by that, I will show you. All right, so here we go. Let's say we have 6 divided by 18 over 25, okay? So I'm going to start with the whole number because I want you to understand this. So technically, you know that if you have 6, that is also equal to 6 over 1 because when you divide that, you get 6, okay? And so you're going to rewrite your problem that way. 6 over 1 divided by 18 over 25. All right, here we go. You ready? So here's our fraction. Keep the first fraction. Keep. F for flip. You're going to flip this fraction, 25 over 18, and change division to multiplication, okay? So you keep the first fraction. You flip the second fraction, and you just invert, and you change the sign from division to multiplication. Now, then you're going to do the same exact thing. I'm just going to rewrite it here so you can see it without all of my drawings here. All right, so I know that 6 is a factor of 18, right? That goes to 1 because 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. The 6's cancel, and then you have 1 times 25 equals 25. 1 times 3 equals 3. improper, so you're going to change that through division. Oops. That is 3 divided into 25, not 2. And your answer is 8 1/3. Let's try another one before I let you do some on your own. All right, so let's look at this one first. You may see a fraction written as 27 over 40. This line here means divided by 21 over 28. Okay, what I like to do is I just like to rewrite it just like we had it before so that you can keep flip and change. Okay, let's do our keep flip and change here, okay? All right, so we're going to keep our first fraction, 27 over 40. We're going to flip our second fraction, and we are going to change to multiplication, okay? Now, you're going to see if you can, if you have any factors, the same so that you can cancel out. You do that through, remember, you do that through cancellation through cross multiplication. Well, I know that 3 is a factor of both of these, and I know I can multiply 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 7 is 21. I can cancel out my 3's, and I have a 9 and a 7, okay? Also, I know I can do some cancellation with 40 and 28. All right, so I know that I can do 2 times 20 equals 40. 2 times 14 equals 28. So I can cancel my 2's, and I have 14 and 20, okay? 14, let me multiply this. 14 times 9 equals 126. I multiplied these two numbers. 20 times 7 is 140. Now, I did this on purpose because I want you to see that you have some large numbers here. And I wanted you to see you can start with the smaller numbers here of cancellation as 2, but you can actually go a little more in order to do cancellation so that you won't have such a large number here. You could actually divide both of these fractions, or both of these numbers, by 4, okay? Which would give you 10 and 7. Which when you did that, that is going to reduce, this is going to reduce to 63 over 70, and then that will reduce further down to 9 over 10, and that is your answer. So when you're dividing fractions, remember KFC. Please complete your assignment and let me know if you have any questions.